So we have in Illinois, we don't really refer to it as custody anymore since a change in the law in 2016 in which the court, really the legislature, believed that because divorce was so contentious, everybody was fighting who was going to win custody, we don't anymore talk about custody per se. We talk about shared parenting time and parenting responsibility. So whereas one person completely won the case, so to speak, and won either legal or residential custody, today we have parenting time, as I say, and parenting responsibility. So parenting time is the schedule, who has the child for the child's birthday, dad's birthday, mom's birthday, this holiday, that holiday, what's the regular schedule during the week. That's parenting time. Parenting responsibility covers 4 areas. We talk about education, we talk about extracurricular activities, we talk about medical, and we talk about religion. So we can have those shared, or we can have those given to just one of the 2 parents. Right, so the best interest of the child is defined by what will the child be raised, or rather, how will the child be raised in an environment that will be most suited to the child's flourishing throughout their life. So if we know for certain that, really we don't know for certain ever these matters, but if the guardian ad litem who reports to the court regarding these cases and gives a recommendation to the judge as to how the case should be decided, determines that one household, one parent is going to be the better parent for the long-term future and the welfare, the health, the mental, physical health of the child, then that is the household which is going to receive the award by the court of what we used to call custody. Today, we call significant or substantial parenting time. So there's a way to revise a custody order. Now, the most important thing to understand is that out of every single one of these cases where there is a custody dispute, there's going to be an allocation judgment, which is something like a 30-page document which defines every single detail relating to how the child is going to be raised. Everything from doctors to schools to the nursery or whoever's going to be the caretaker of the child during off times, every single detail, life insurance, health insurance, everything's going to be decided. So there's a desire by the court that because this 30-page document is so comprehensive, it remains consistent, that it's not changed. It's hard, typically, to change a custody order. That being said, it's not impossible. There are cases where if you can show a substantial modification in the conditions of the child and the raising the child, you can argue that the court should reopen that strong allocation judgment and make some changes. Now, it's not so hard to do that with regard to the parenting schedule, because often that changes based on regular changes in the life of the child. But with regard to parenting responsibility, what we used to call legal custody, it's significantly harder. So it is possible to move to change the state in which one lives, which is really the issue, right? That's the legal issue, because the states, our court system is a state system. So when we leave the state, we leave the jurisdiction of the court. For example, a court in Cook County, Illinois, can order anybody in the state of Illinois to do anything. They can send the sheriff, in any county, anywhere, send the state police. But once you leave Illinois, an Illinois judge doesn't have so much authority. So the jurisdiction of the court is a real issue. And when we leave Illinois, we leave the court that decided the original case. And in that situation, we leave the ability of the parents who won the original custody order to enforce that order. So it's really important in these situations that there's a due process, that there's a procedure where the court reviews and determines whether there is a good reason to leave the state, to remove the child from the state. So we file what's called a petition for removal, alleging that the best interest of the child would be best suited in another state, not Illinois. This topic, friends, was Custody 101. If you want to find out more specifics with regard to how this relates to your case, please don't hesitate to reach out to our firm, to KHK Family Law, for a free consultation.